Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to this video on how to project an outdoor boulder problem. So we're trying something a little bit different today. Usually my channel is just beta videos, but I thought I would record this bit on how to project an outdoor boulder problem. Recently I was uptown at Fort Tryon Park working on this really great boulder problem called Maestro Wittick. It's a V4. It's quite hard, quite scary, and definitely requires some projecting. It's not an easy one to flash. So I thought this would be a good thing to show you all, to give you some tips on how to approach projecting a boulder that's gonna take you multiple tries, a fair amount of energy, and that you want to approach in a kind of efficient way. So with that, let's get into the tips. The first thing you're gonna do is attempt to flash the problem. You don't have to do this, but I always think it's a good policy to approach every single boulder problem for the first time as if you're gonna try to flash it. And sometimes you chicken out. So now that you've fallen, you have yourself a project. One thing I like to do at the beginning is just feel out some of the holds that you can reach from the ground and see what you can figure out. Then what I try to do is get into a position where I can climb the top section, or at least what I think is going to be the hardest upper section of the boulder problem. I like to do the top-down method because one of the things that's really frustrating when you're projecting is if you get the beginning dialed and then you're climbing, you're feeling good, you have a good go, and you hit the top crux and you flame out. That is a very frustrating feeling, so I think it's more motivating to get the top figured out first and then work your way down. One thing you want to do in this phase is play with your beta, try different body positions, slightly different variations in the holds. Here, I try putting my heel in a few different places. That's going to be very helpful to you so that you can figure out what the best approach is going to be. Once you've broken the route down into discrete sections and you know which parts are going to be hard for you, your next step is to work the crux, preferably starting with the crux that's going to be hardest for you. So this is the hardest move or sequence of moves on the climb, and you want to make sure that you're spending a lot of time getting these moves dialed. Now, one thing you're going to notice me doing here is I'm taking the move, which is this very hard dyno, kind of backwards over your head, and I'm making it a little bit easier for the first few times that I'm going to practice it. So what I do is, rather than dynoing with my feet up on the wall, I'm going to start by just jumping from the ground and feeling what it's like to hold the position. Then gradually over time, I'm going to make the angle that I'm approaching it a little bit steeper and a little bit steeper, finally putting one foot on the wall and trying the dyno like that. Once you've stuck it at that point and you feel like you've got a good rhythm with it, it's time to start making links. Now, when we talk about making links, what I mean is that you're going to start climbing in longer and longer sections. You might link the space between two cruxes, you might try to do one crux and then link it up to the next crux, but you're going to take a few tries and just try to get the boulder in longer and longer increments. At a certain point, you'll start to feel confident, and once you feel like you've got a reasonable chance of sending the boulder, it's time to start trying from the ground up. In this case, I was pretty lucky and I got it on my first ground up attempt. Enjoy! Thanks for watching. This is kind of a rare thing for my channel and I wouldn't get used to it, but if you liked it, feel free to leave a like, leave a comment, and follow the rest of the channel.